Welcome to today's Franchise Minute. I'm Anna Wiles, the franchise economist. We have special guest with us today, Kim Marino with Shrunk 3D Franchise. She is going to help explain what is a franchise. This is the first episode in an educational series we're doing here on the Franchise Minute. We're going to let everyone join the call. And in the meantime, I'll explain the format of the Franchise Minute. We will watch a 60-second video on today's topic of what is a franchise and why do I care? And then we'll have 15 minutes of Q&A with Kim. I'm going to ask the questions and Kim's going to give the answers. Thank you for joining us, Kim.
It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Okay, it is now time for us to watch the Franchise Minute video. Welcome to the Franchise Minute. I'm Anna Wiles, the franchise economist, and today is the first episode in our educational series. Today's topic is to answer the question, what is a franchise? A very basic answer to the question is this: a franchise is a license to use the brand, trademarks, and business format of a specific company. There's a one-time payment for this license called the franchise fee. And when a franchise is awarded, typically a geographic area or territory is included. What's unique about franchise businesses is the ongoing financial relationship between the franchisor and the franchisee. And this is the payment of a royalty. The franchisee pays the franchisor a percentage of gross revenue, not profit, for the length of the franchise agreement. So today's takeaway is that franchises are unique businesses and they help mitigate the risk of entrepreneurship. I'm Anna Wiles, the franchise economist. Keep watching the Be Wildly Wealthy YouTube channel. Subscribe today. I'm Anna Wiles, the franchise economist. What an interesting topic. Kim, I've been a franchise advisor for 20 years, and there is a lot of misunderstanding, miscommunication, preconceived notions about what a franchise is and isn't. Haven't you found that in your experience as well?
Oh, I sure have. And I'm so glad that you're able to take this time to really help people understand what franchises are and what they have to offer.
Absolutely. Well, the first thing is, as the video explains, a franchise is a unique business model unlike any other. And just as I explained it, a franchise, first of all, is a license, right? But of course, not all licenses are franchises. So when someone is awarded a franchise, what does the license they pay for entitle them to, Kim?
So the license they pay for entitles them to use the brand trademarks, any intellectual property. Pretty much it's a business plan or a map to success for that concept.
Right, absolutely. And what is a surefire way someone can be sure they're dealing with a franchise and not some other type of business?
So when dealing with a franchise, you'll definitely have what's called the Franchise Disclosure Document, or the FDD. And the Federal Trade Commission regulates the franchise industry quite a bit. And they require
Yes.
that each franchise has a document like this. The FDD gets presented to each potential buyer during that discovery process. And it basically includes their book of business, everything they'll need to know about how to operate their business.
Absolutely. All right. Well, your training and support will probably go into a lot more detail about that.
Oh, for sure.
All right. And Kim, when should a potential buyer expect to receive the franchise disclosure document for, say, Shrunk 3D, your franchise?
So we share our FDD with candidates during the discovery process, where they learn about the business model, the marketing, operations, technology training. We really go through all of that during that discovery process.
And they are emailed the FDD?
That's right. They get emailed the FDD and they want to sign it immediately And that signage is proof that they've received the document.
Right, because the the Federal Trade Commission requires that the FDD be in any potential franchisee's possession a certain number of days. So they sign a receipt just saying, hey, I got it. It doesn't mean I
That's
read it, I
exactly
agree with it, right? Okay, so thank you for clarifying that. And another thing that makes a business a franchise is the payment of a royalty. And I think there's a lot of misunderstanding about what that is and isn't, and how much it is, and all that sort of thing. So the way I put it, well, you explain it. You're the franchisor, so explain what is a royalty.
So, a royalty is basically a set percentage of revenue that each franchisee's business pays to the franchisor. This
Mhm.
payment is really in exchange for the use of that intellectual property, the licensing, the trademarks, and really the business format of the franchise.
Right, absolutely. That's an important point, really important point that I think our audience need to hear. All right, Kim, I love the history of the payment of royalties. Would you please share that? I think the audience will find that pretty interesting.
It is my pleasure to share this. So, in the Middle Ages in France, the king allowed hunters to use the royal lands for hunting. In exchange for hunting on the royal ground, the king asked that a portion of everything that was hunted be shared with him. And this is where the term royalty came from.
That is so interesting. Thank you. That's kind of a fun fact about
Yeah.
franchising. All right, Kim, at this point of our discussion, let's summarize what we've learned some more about franchises and what makes a business a franchise. First, you mentioned the FDD, right? And let me explain real quickly that this is required, of course, by the Federal Trade Commission, and these are written by franchise attorneys.
That's
All right. Then secondly, it's the financial relationship between the franchisor and franchisee through the payment of the royalty. Those two things are guarantees that you're working with a franchise. And I've seen out there that some businesses call themselves a franchise and they're not. And then there's some that don't call themselves a franchise, but they are. They're
right.
operating as one. So the word franchise is a legal term. There are certain requirements and specifications that make something a franchise or not. But just for our audience in general, if you're working with a franchise, Kim, they're going to receive an FDD and they are going to know that there's a percentage of their revenue they're going to be expected to pay back to the franchisor.
That's right. Really, a giveaway if you're working with a company and you see a sign that says locally owned and operated, those will be your
Mhm.
dead giveaways that this is a franchise. Otherwise,
Right.
sometimes it's not that obvious.
Yeah, just from driving down the street and looking at businesses. Today, I'm sending out my newsletter, my weekly newsletter, and I give the example in it about how do you know a national chain is a franchise or isn't a franchise, because most franchises are national chains. So where I am, Kroger grocery stores are popular.
Mhm.
Walgreens drugstores are popular, but those aren't franchises. You can't personally own a Kroger or a Walgreens,
No, but
right?
I would love to.
But you can own a Shrunk 3D franchise in your local market. You can own an Ace Hardware store, which is also a franchise. So you have to focus on who owns it, right? So with Kroger's and Walgreens, those are publicly traded companies. So you can buy stock in that company and be a partial owner. You are an owner, but just a partial owner. When
Mhm.
you buy a franchise, though, who's the owner?
You become that owner of that small business.
100%. It is your money in the business. You have bought the license, and now every penny
Hmm.
to get it built, launched, marketed, operated, managed is on the part of the franchisee. I
That's
have found people think that the franchisor gives money, and that's not the case. But what the franchise does give is training and support. So let's use Shrunk 3D as an example of what someone can expect for that franchise fee. You know, what are they getting besides territory? Talk about the training and the ongoing support for the length of time someone is a franchisee.
This is incredible. When you join the Shrunk family, you really become an expert in the industry. Not only is Shrunk 3D going to get you prepared on how to find events in your community, how to ethically sell, even review how to pose to maximize your profits, but they're also going to give you a lot of information about how you become um, the best franchisee that you can be. In addition to all of that ongoing support, Structuredy is is taking care of everything on the back end. As soon as you, as the business owner, send your scan up into the cloud, your job is done. The franchisor on the back end is taking care of everything from communicating with your customer that their order has been received, printed, and then shipped, even the first line of defense for customer service issues. And I mean, they're taking care of all that printing. It really allows the franchisee to focus on selling on the front end when you know corporate's got your back.
You know, let's take a minute for you to explain what Shrunk 3D actually is.
I would be happy to. So, Shrunk 3D is the first ever mobile 3D scanning studio franchise. We are revolutionizing the way that we commemorate special events with high def, incredibly detailed statues that become keepsake items that get cherished for generations.
Wow. So say it's my 25th wedding anniversary. So we would arrange for the local franchisee of Shrunk 3D to come. My husband and I would pose, and then we would get an actual 3D item of
Yep.
us.
You would receive a
Wow.
statue, and these are available from 4 inches to 9 inches. So there's something for every price point. And while that's an excellent usage for something like this, I want you to think about, gosh, every dance recital you've ever been to. Now
Wow.
you've got a bunch of little cute kids wearing their special dance recital outfits that make really incredible keepsakes that those parents are definitely going to cherish. Plus, each statue can come on a base, and the bases can be completely customized with the logo of that dance studio or your high
Wow.
school mascot, the year that the statue was made. These become really high def keepsake items for sure.
What a unique gift, you know?
Oh,
My son's home from college and he was saying he might need some things. I'm like, please buy it so I have something to give you for Christmas. You know, it's hard to give gifts and something that's meaningful to people and something that they really want and don't want to regift it, right?
and I'm so glad you said that because the opportunity that our franchisees have to make an impact in their community is huge. One of our
Mhm.
franchisees just posted on social media a picture of, gosh, inside their booth, they had a gentleman go in with their dog, and the dog stood up on his hind legs and hugged the owner around the
Aw,
shoulders. And then they find out that this dog has just been diagnosed with cancer. And I hate to
aw.
bring it to such a negative place, but that statue and that memory won't exist if it wasn't for the franchisee being in that neighborhood. Now, this owner has a really powerful keepsake item that, gosh, that dog's memory is going to live on for a long time. The
Oh,
worst
I
thing
think that
about
is
dogs that they're not with
precious.
us forever, right?
Right. That's a wonderful example. Gosh, and of course, birthday parties and just boy, wouldn't it be fun? I was thinking of like even family reunions. This is the summer and getting everybody together. Wouldn't that be fun?
I'm so glad you said that because one of our candidates had to stop Discovery to go to the family reunion. And this was the first time they were doing it in a number of years, thanks to COVID. And gosh, there was going to be 70 people there.
Oh
And I
my
can only
word.
imagine the opportunity that you can enact in that family. And statues can also be made into Christmas ornaments. Now we've got
Oh,
a whole new definition for family tree.
Well, that is so fantastic. So if anyone in our audience is interested in learning more about Shrunk 3D, what should they do, Kim?
They should absolutely reach out to you. You'd be able to be their best first line of information, and then you can point them in the right direction.
And you know that I know what you're looking for in a franchise candidate,
Well, that's the
right?
most important thing, because even though this is a really cool concept, there's a lot of really cool concepts out there, Anna. And you've got the ability to know so much about all of the different brands that what you do is really fit find, and you're going to be able to match that person with the perfect opportunity for you. And yeah, while we'd love to have them at Shrunk 3D, they might be better fitted at another concept.
Well, the thing is, what I've learned is, people think they can buy a franchise, but this is a good point for us to end our podcast on, is franchises are awarded. Each franchise, including Shrunk 3D, there's only one territory where that person's or it could be multiple territories in a big market. But the point is, they're only going to award territory once. And every franchise is going to award it to who they think would be the most highly successful in terms of revenue generation, right? Because the more money the franchisee makes, the more money the franchisor makes through the royalty stream. So it's got to be a mutual fit. The person has to be what you are looking for, and the franchise has to be what the person is looking for. And that's where I come in handy, right?
Exactly. You'll be able to help us find that perfect fit for every territory.
All right. Well, thank you, Kim Marino with Shrunk 3D Franchise, for being on our podcast. We've run out of time. Everyone, be sure to subscribe to the Be Wildly Wealthy YouTube channel. Come back next week. I'm Anna Wilds, the franchise economist.